it's a good 4 or 5 hour class, so I would prefer that either I speak or you speak. In between, anytime you want to speak, you let me know. I'll give you a break. For a reason, I am taking class after a very very long time. I think after 3 years precise, I think I've started taking class. I think so. One, I am not accustomed to speaking so much, so I prefer that I use my energy as much as possible, because throughout the day, since I run this company, so I'm the founder of ArivuPro. So I'm a chartered accountant, IM grad, been an investment banker. What else? Been economic times, young leaders. Uh, so most of them who are working here are either my friends or students who have been coming here and working. It's grown just because of them. Nothing that I have been doing across. Anyone who wants to teach at any point of time, you guys are always welcome to be part of ArivuPro. Just an open invitation. But to be, so I'll tell you the way I teach. It's a little different than the other teachers. I focus more on conceptual learning. Believing that we are all humans at the end of the day, we need to understand things, not do questions systematically, right? All of you guys are aware of your AI, ML, all the things, right? Artificial intelligence, machine learning. So if you know how it works, typically, let's say, to give a simpler example, everyone knows 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, right? You just put 1 plus 1, add it, it will start giving you an answer. Accounting, or let's say anything in your law, any of the papers right now, the machine learning, you can just give them a case, it will give you a solution to it. Then what is that which is going to differentiate us as humans? That is the way that we can think, which has not happened in the past. Simpler example, let's say if you are trying to slap me this way, and you tell that, hey, you know what, I have to block this. Computer knows whenever somebody is trying to slap me, I have to keep blocking it this way. Now, if you suddenly hit me on my stomach, the computer will not know what to do, because you are hitting me to the stomach for the first time. That's how this whole AIML, everything works. So what I would always prefer is that you guys try to learn concepts first. See, once you learn a concept, you will remember it all your life. If you try to mug up certain things, you'll remember it today, but it will just again on the day of exam, you start getting more stressful, right? And I am a firm believer of one thing, that examination, I think it's one time, you should write, clear it off. It's not a time to waste in examination, because there are lots of things to explore in life. I'm saying every day you can learn something new, there are more things to fail on. Definitely not an exam, because examinations work very simple. You study, you pass. You don't study, you fail. Problem is when you do in between. Right? That's what you guys struggle for. And another thing that we all tend to do a mistake in our professional journeys, let's say I like law paper. Company law, I love it. I'll study company law for till 4 months. Last 2 months, suddenly I'll open the other 2 subjects. Boss, you want to pass means you have to clear all your 3 papers or 4 papers, not about 1 paper. We need to know this, that at least every subject, rule number 1, I have to finish 60% of the portions 100%. 60% of the portions 100%. First finish that off, then the balance you can do it. Now even the 60% when you are trying to do, try to do things which you understand. What you don't understand, you have paid fees here, please bother the teachers to get your doubts clarified. Right? Until and unless you don't get your doubts clarified, right, you are doing a charity. Typical example, going to Tirupati and putting the money. Nothing will happen, God will give you on laddu at the end of the day, nothing else. Right? Same thing will happen to your life also. So please do ensure, if you're not understanding, it's your right to ask, not my right to find out who has understood or not. Clear? Right? You can call me by my name, Arjun. So I would always prefer to treat you guys more as my colleagues, because we are all professionals at the end of the day. Today, the way we deal with each other. Tomorrow it's the same thing, we might find each other working on multiple things. So I would always treat you guys more with respect. I would always want you guys to reciprocate with the same. You want getting bored, want a break, please do ask. Right? Until you ask, I won't know. Right? So if you need a break, something is not you're not able to understand, you want to spend some time, please let me know, because the time I am coming in, I generally, except Fridays and Saturdays, what I'll be doing across, I'll tell you the new syllabus guys, you have subjective paper, old syllabus guys, you have MCQ paper. So old syllabus guys, you have to learn the whole stuff, but we'll have to do the MCQ questions, we'll do it towards the end, because it's only about trying to fill in the blanks, more or less. For the new syllabus guys and the old syllabus guys, the syllabus is the same. So what I'll be doing across is, I'll be trying to do chapters which are more easier. First we'll strengthen those. Then we'll do the difficult ones which are going to be confusing. Even if I teach, if I don't teach, you will still not understand. So that will keep it towards the end, so that we know it is difficult. We'll try to, so the way I look into it as a student, right? If there is a chapter which is extremely difficult, what we do as a student, we spend more time, right? Rather, I would suggest don't do that. Whichever is easy, spend more time on it. Whichever is difficult, try to squeeze as much marks as possible from it. Because in what is easy? What is easy? You wake up in your dream, still you will end up doing that question right. Correct, no? Like your tables of 2. Everyone can tell it right at any point of time. Table of 17. Maybe you require some bit of calculator or mind calculator, but it's not as easy that you will say 17, 34, 51, blah blah blah, right? So what I am saying is, your paper generally has 40% which is going to be easy. But these come in because you would have not studied those easy chapters 100%. That's why you're making it difficult. And theory is your savior, not the practical questions. Remember this. What is going to get you guys more marks is what? Theory and not practical. And we guys generally tend to avoid theory, right? And I'll show you guys few papers of the past. You will realize that your theory would have 60 marks, 40 marks is going to be practical. But we spend so much of time with practical questions, this many questions that practical, even if you do 20% wrong, it's okay, still you can get another 15-20% right. So please do not compare what other institutes are all doing. I'm saying just believe into what I'm doing. After exam, you can come scold or praise whatever it's required. But for the next 15 days, just believe and follow whatever I'm saying. It's my duty to ensure that you have 60% of your accounting. At least you should be able to score 40-45 after the class is done. The last 15, I'm just keeping it as a buffer for the smartest guys who want to spend a little more time. But 40-45, it's my duty to ensure that you get in. Right? Yes. Done. Awesome. So, since there are guys with accounting and non-accounting guys, I'll be assuming that everyone knows accounting or don't know accounting, and we'll try to do different things that what you're doing so that I don't bore you guys off the class. So your whole syllabus is divided into 2 parts. One is got to do with your corporate accounting. Then there is a bit of management accounting. When I say management accounting, we are talking of cash flows and ratios, right? So, and then you have whatever you have learned in your first PUC of accounting is done in one chapter here. So I am trying to cover whatever you have learned in first PUC in the first class today. For the non-commerce students, don't fear. If you are not understanding anything, we'll sit a little after the class for the things that you have not understood. Otherwise, for the other days, it's going to be more of a revision, right? So before we start accounting, I wanted you guys to understand how a business works. Because once you understand how a business works, representing the business in numbers is what accounting is. To be very honest, whatever a business is doing, you are trying to represent it with what? Numbers. And if you can understand numbers, automatically your accounting makes sense. Now, to start any business, right, what are the things you require? Pakka? Yeah. Thank you, madam. What will you do with capital if you don't have an idea? Correct? No. I'll give you money. What will you do with money then? So now, is every idea a business idea? Then how do you define it's a business idea?
What makes money?
Okay, so we call something as a feasibility study. What is a feasibility study? Like I said, whether that business will work or not. Which are the parameters that we look at? It is one, we look at the market feasibility. What is market feasibility? How much is the customers looking for this product? Are they willing to pay for it? Can I produce a product at a particular price point so that I can sell? Can I make profit out of it? Then we look at from the technical feasibility. Do I have all the resources to make a particular product? Then we look into the legal feasibility. Let's say for an example, he wants to make a bomb. Everyone wants to buy the bomb, but will the government approve for it? No, right? So that means even though the idea is good, people are ready to buy, the government does not. So the legal issues are there, so you cannot do it. So we try to do a lot of feasibility studies, typically market, technical, financial and legal. We try to do some bit of ratings in the investment banking and finally decide, hey, you know what? We want to start a business. Every parameter is working well, we want to start a business. Now comes our part. I have started that, hey, you know what, this is the business I want to do. Now I want to start, I require money, right? Now we try to look into it. Money can be taken from two sources. The non-commerce guys, please listen to it because this is where we are starting off with accounting. So the to start business, I require money and I can raise money through two sources. Which are the two sources? Common money. I don't understand anything. So either I have my own money or I take, right? So I'll try to look into it. I write that, hey, you know what? The money which I require, either I can take it through my own savings or from others, right? When I put in my own money to the business, we call it as capital. So when we say capital, what is capital? Capital is represented by the owner's funds which are invested to the business. Anything apart from owners, borrowings, that we call it as debt. Clear? Now once I get money, you got money from your family, friends and other stuff. What do you do after you get money? Pay back. Brilliant. Yes, nice thing. Take money, give back money. That's his business. Yeah, what do you do? You invest in the business. What is investing in the business? One. Yeah. What is required? Okay, we'll say, I want to start this academy.
We need the furnitures.
He needs furnitures,
Whatever.
premises, right? So what I do is I try to set up my business, trying to invest in, let's say, land and building, furniture, computers, benches, all of this, right? So my classroom, everything is ready. Now, is this all meant for sale? Or is it meant for me to facilitate production or service? So, I am having certain things which I am buying it for the purpose of what? Facilitating my production and not for the purpose of sale. These are going to be my non-current assets. So what is asset? Let's try defining it. What's an asset? How did you say it's your asset?
It gives more than 10 years of life.
That's so I give. So you're saying I have more than 10 years of life. I'm an asset.
No, sir.
Then, no, how do you say something is an asset to a company? No, one of you.
Which adds value.
Acts value. Okay. Okay. Now there is, so I want you guys to understand how did I become an owner of this chair. Okay. I had money in my account. Let's assume he's the furniture dealer. I paid him money. He said, boss, I am giving you the ownership of this furniture. Then it became mine. So there was an act which happened in the past. What was the act which happened in the past? I paid him money. Was it involving a financial obligation? I paid a financial obligation. Because of it, he transferred an ownership of this. Now, just because he gave me this, it doesn't mean that it became an asset to me. Just because he gave me this chair, it doesn't mean that it's an asset to me. I'll tell you a reason why. You know, a lot of times you would have heard this bad joke. Your parents telling that, hey, you know what, I invested so much on you, now you have become a liability on me. See, you know why suddenly they are treating you as a liability? What made you a liability? And somebody saying, I invested so much on you, my son is an asset. So you're not giving any profit to your parents. Okay. So, simpler thing, when you invest something, right, you expect in the future that you're going to get a benefit out of it. Only then it becomes an asset. You are doing some in the past, you are trying to forego a resource, assuming that what in the future you are going to be getting any benefit out of it. Only then it becomes an asset. Not randomly just, hey, you know what, hey, take this chair. Will this chair become an asset or a liability? Now I have to see, just because let's say I took this chair, along with it came a ghost which is going to take away all my money. Hey, this is my favorite chair out there. Can't work, right? So you need to understand something to call an asset. It should have happened in the past, and because of it, what I am going to be getting a benefit of in the future. Now we can name anything. Now, how did you become an owner of a building? Land. Okay. When I now try to look into this, I purchased goods. Let's say I am a dealer of furniture. I purchased certain goods from this guy, and I'm telling him I'm going to be paying you money for it 10 days later. I did not pay him the money. What am I saying him? Okay. Is he an asset to me? Was there an asset in this whole conversation? I went to him. I told him, boss, give me 10 chairs today. Give me 10 chairs today. I'll give you the money of this 10 chairs 10 days later. I wanted you to identify, is there an asset?
Yes.
Accounting guys are there. Accounting guys. So you are saying until the payment is done.
You can use it under the
Okay.
but the ownership is
Okay. You guys have all learned law now. Learned law, right? So in that you have learned in Contract Act something. Even if you do not pay until and unless there is a legal obligation to pay, that means it's okay. No matter what I have to pay him today or tomorrow. He has transferred me the ownership because based on the contract of the future. Now there are two things which are happening. I want you guys to understand it. The chair which I got is my asset. But there is another problem which has happened. I did not pay him. Should I pay him now or should I pay him in the future? If I have to pay somebody in the future and there is a outflow of my resource, we say that to be a liability. Reverse of what happened in an asset. Here what is happening, I got into some contract, but did the money go now? But are you sure that I have to pay him the money? That means what? In the future, there is an outflow of my resource. The moment there is an outflow of resource in the future, we look at it as a liability. Are you clear? Non-finance guys. What's an asset? What's a liability? So for me, when I am trying to define a non-current asset, what is this non-current asset? Right? When I'm trying, so to define a non-current asset, we'll try to define what's a current asset. Okay? So first we'll come to current and then we'll go to the non-current. So I purchased all the furnitures, everything. My factory is ready for production. What do you do next? Don't take the classroom, we'll go for the factory. So let's say I bought a land, set up a factory, set up all the machines. Everything is set for production. What do you do next?
Raw materials.
Correct. So let's go here. So he said, boss, we have to purchase raw materials for production. Correct? How do you purchase raw materials?
Either to cash or loan.
Super, no? Either I have two options again. If I have money, I pay him now and buy. So I say I'll purchase through cash or through credit. Okay, I got the raw materials. What next? So once I get my raw materials, I employ resources. Right? I employ resources. It can be my labor, electricity, fuel, all XYZ expenses. And by doing that, what will I do? I convert my raw material into, everyone knows about it, layman terms, right? So once finished goods come in, what will happen?
Markets.
You do sales, market, everything, then
Start selling.
start selling. There are three things which can happen now. When you are doing a sale, you have finished goods. Three things can happen. What are the three things? Either you can do a cash sale, credit sale, or it can remain. Correct, no? Now, once you get money, what do you do? Okay, you sold goods. Okay, what do you do? Think practically. I don't want you guys to use your intelligence.
We pay back. We pay the
Thank
expenses. Expenses or employee salaries. or
Awesome.
whatever to run
So
the-
first thing you have to do is pay this guy. If you don't pay that guy, do you think he will supply your next batch? If you don't pay this guy's money, do you think they will work next month? So once you get back your money, you are gonna pay back all your liabilities or expenses, right? So that you can continue this process of production. Are you clear? So it will become a cycle by itself. Now I want you guys to understand what is happening here. Raw materials, resources, finished goods, sell, reinvest. You keep doing this. Once you sufficient enough profits, once you get profits, what will happen?
Start reaping loans.
So you have 2-3 things. First, see here, once I clear all of this and make sufficient money, I'm gonna go back here and pay this guys. Or I will start giving owners back their money in terms of profits. Correct? Typical, no, if you do a business. Now, what owners will say, hey, you know what, why do you have to give it back? If let's say, how much is the rate of return on fixed deposit? 6-7%. If your business is growing by 30% every year, will you tell, boss, give me money, or will you say reinvest in the business? Common sense, no? Right? So you will also as an owner take a call, boss, when the business is making sufficient money, is it making money more than the market? If it is making lesser than the market, you will say give back the money and rather invest outside. If it's making more, you will say, boss, invest more. So that you can take it as a take it back as a business. Long-term return is what you are looking at, right? Now, I want you guys to understand this because this is very, very important for me for a chapter called cash flow and ratios. What I'm doing right now. Now, raw materials, when I'm purchasing goods on credit, right? We call it by the name. When we purchase raw materials on credit, what do we call him as? So creditor is not Mr. X name or Mr. Y name. It is a collective name called for what? For people from whom I have purchased goods on credit. Are you clear? Then when I sell goods on credit, we call them as? So debtors are basically what? People to whom I have sold goods and expecting to be repaying back. Now, there is something which you have to understand here. What did I tell? When you sell goods, you got money, you are re-employing it here. You will not, do you think you will go to a shop down and say, sir, you give me one samosa today, I'll pay you after 2 years. Max to max, he'll say, sir, give me tomorrow. Practical, right? Because he has to, because for him, samosa is living. He will say, boss, you have to give me money because with that money, I'll buy the next samosa for tomorrow. If you are not giving me, what will I do? Right? So, all of this is happening within a span of 12 months. All of this will be happening within a span of what? 12 months. That's why it is short term in nature. That's why it is what? So whatever is short term in nature, we call it as current. So current asset or current liability means short term asset or a short term liability. That means it should either get converted into cash within 12 months or I should repay them within 12 months. You understood, right? So the maximum time should be what?
12 months.
Are you clear? Right? Now, what are my short-term assets or current assets? Let's try looking into it. Inventory. Inventory. What is inventory? Inventory is stock in hand. What is inventory? What all comprises of inventory?
Finished goods.
Finished goods, raw materials, work in, and there's a fourth category called consumables, which we'll ignore it right now. When we do accounting standard, we'll look into it. Finished goods, so you understand. Raw material went through all the process, got completed. Then raw materials is what? You purchased but you did not put through process. So it was not used by the end of the year, becomes raw material. I put into the process, by then what happened? Machine stopped working, work in progress. What is work in progress?
In between of finished goods and all.
No, but what? You have to speak accounting language.
Finished goods.
Accounting language.
Raw materials were in full process.
Yeah, I know, but for accountant, how does it matter? See, as a production manager, what is it? I put in, it should get converted into finished product. When are you saying it to be a work in progress? You are saying semi-finished, I agree. You have to understand the rule of accounting. Accounting is always done on a particular date. On the date, is the raw material converted into finished products or not? 31st March. On the day, is my raw material converted into finished products or not? If on the day it is not converted, then it is my work in progress. It is not that semi-finished. For what semi-finished was? How will it be a semi-finished when I put it for a production? What machine got spoiled in between? Accountant now, instead of you doing accounting, now you have to check. Wait, machine working? Oh, okay. Not working, semi-finished. That's not our duty, no. For us, on a particular date, what has happened? Are you guys clear? So we always try to take a particular date and check on that day, has it completed production or not? Are you clear? On that day, if it's completed, I'll check. Oh, raw materials. Did you put it for production? No. Inventory. Oh, completed. Inventory. Oh, in between, you are also inventory. But as long as it's there with me in one form or other, it forms part of inventory. Are you guys clear? Right? And why is it a short term? Because what is happening? Raw material, convert finished goods and sell. You are not trying to build it to keep it in a museum, no? So you are trying to build it for the purpose of sale, short term, so it's a current asset. Clear? Right? So we covered what? Inventory over. Which was the other short term asset we covered? Data. And what's my creditor? Creditor is, I said, goods which I am purchasing on credit, which is lesser than 12 months. So this is going to be my current liability. Are you clear? So any asset which is not a current asset, we call it as non-current asset. Simple definition. What? Current asset is easy to define. So what is not a current asset? We call it as non-current. That means what? It should be more than 12 months. It should not be converted into cash immediately. You are not keeping it for the purpose of saving. These all forms part of my non-current asset. Typical examples are what? Land, building, machinery. Are you guys clear till now? Just one more time, the non-commerce guys. Just okay. Oh, you are answering more than a commerce guy. No. You guys are fine. Too fast. Pakka. Please do ask if you are not, because there are experts in class who are giving wrong answers. Don't go by that. Yeah. Done till here? Right? So, we understood a current asset. Moving on to non-current. From there we went to the capital and debt. Are you guys clear till here? Now, for me, most of the things what I'm going to be doing in accounting, if we can just understand, is it going to be my expense, income? Is it my asset or a liability? If you can identify these four, accounting can be solved any point of time. You don't have to mug up any entries, you only have to do this identification. Which are the identification? Is it an asset, liability, income or an expense? Now I don't care short term, long term for accounting. I care it only for my balance sheet, that will come back later. But for accounting, it does not matter. Clear? I'll tell you, if you understand accounting this way, right, your next challenge will only be, you will have to only focus on calculation. Now I'll tell you why I'm saying this a little often is, let's say I gave you 100 rupees. In my books, how much I should record it? 100, right? If instead of 100, if I record it as 90, your mind entry will never change. Entry will still be the same. I have only given you money. What your mind should focus on, how did I get 90 instead of 100? So your focus will shift from accounting to mathematics. Right? The day I learned accounting, that way I stopped actually enjoying teaching accounting because it was more easier. It's like same thing, every entry is the same. Asset increase or debit or decrease trading. You have nothing to do, and to be very honest, I have not even read accounting. I think the last time when I really learned this concept from a teacher, whoever taught me, after that I don't know, accounting felt really boring for me. I'm more interested on the calculation part of it. Because every entry, see what will happen, instead of writing Mr. X, you would have written Mr. Y. But no matter what happens, your balance sheet will always tally because you are doing a double entry system. So I am trying to say is, we'll focus on getting a skeleton right. Saying that for every situation like this, these are the entries that has to be passed in. Trying to classify under only these four. Asset, liability, income and expense. We will focus more on the calculation part. How did we get those numbers? Then when you go back home, you don't have to scold me, my family or other stuff. You only focus on doing that calculation and you'll know where to fit in your entries for. Right? So I'll be spending a little more time on the explanation part, not on doing too many questions because I don't find sense when you know that that's the entry, but I'll be spending time on the calculations part of it. Are you guys clear? Okay. Now so we have covered few concepts. What is capital? Owner's fund. Debt. Borrowings. Current assets. Current liabilities. Non-current assets. We covered what's what do we mean by inventory, data, credit. We'll try to use this for today as much as possible. Anything else we'll try to figure out as we go on. So first thing, we'll start our official chapter number 1, which is called Introduction to Accounting. Right? So first thing, what is accounting? What is accounting?
Recording the transaction.
Okay, recording a transaction, summarizing. Okay, we'll try to keep more simpler and try to understand what accounting is and then try to put in a definition to it. Now, first thing, you have to understand accounting only deals with money. So, emotions have zero value in accounting. I will only check at him. He will say, sir, you are my teacher, you do this. I'm like, show me money, then I'll record you. Otherwise, we'll keep you aside. You come, talk, have chocolate, biscuit, whatever. Chocolate, biscuit also, money is there. I have to pay, record. You want, come talk to me, I don't have anywhere to record. If he comes and pays money to listen to me or other things, then I have to record. But charitably, he'll call me, talk for half an hour and all, I cannot record anything because accounting says, show me money. So rule number 1 of accounting that you have to understand is what? It only deals with what? Monetary transactions. Anything non-monetary, ignore. Now, second thing you have to understand from accounting is, now the moment I say money, I want you guys to understand this. He paid 200 rupees to her. Okay. She paid 500 to him. I paid 1000 to each of you guys. 3 situations. Now, what all should be recorded? All the things? Okay. Now, again, you are conceptually wrong. I'll tell you why. You have to first ask me, in whose book are you recording? What are you going to ask the question? Whose book? If I say my book, you have to record all the 1000 rupees I have paid to you guys. Only one. If he is supposed to record, what all will he record? Correct. He will record 2 transactions. One, what he received from me, and one, what he paid. Same thing with him also, right? So, you have to understand accounting is always done from a accounting is done from whose point of view? From the person who's doing it. It's not that wherever money is involved, you do it. That is a crux for accounting. A lot of them don't understand this. Because they try to record, the moment they see 100 rupees, hey, you said 100 record. First, you have to understand, is it affecting you or not? Are you clear? This concept is called as business entity concept. What is this concept called as? What this business entity concept says that whenever we are doing accounting, we record the business as its individual identity. And we will be recording everything from that per se. For an example, let's say Arjun, I started a business. Okay. I spent money for movie. I spent money for what? Movie. It's my money only. I spent for movie. Should I record? Okay. I'll give you even more further example. What I decided that you know what? I will start a business of keeping a sandwich store outside the class. So it came in my mind that I'll start sandwich store. Kept 10,000 rupees aside for this. Okay, what's my investment to the sandwich? 10,000. Now understand from the sandwich store guy. Am I and the sandwich guy the same?
Yes.
Effectively yes, right? But for accounting it is not. For accounting it is not. For accounting says sandwich is a business, it's separate. Arjun, you are separate. Business entity concept. Are you clear? Now look at the way the business is going to communicate with me. Even though it's me, I want you guys to understand this. Business will say, boss, where is my money? I gave him what? How much money I gave?
10,000.
See the way business tells me, oh, you gave me 10,000. I have to pay you back 10,000. That's where capital is always considered as a liability to the business. What is the business saying? I have to give back whom? The owner. That's where capital is always a liability. So business will say, yes, I got 10,000 and I have to give Arjun 10,000 back. Okay. Now one day what happened? I did not have cash. My friend came, I said, go to that sandwich guy and take 2,000 rupees on my behalf. The sandwich guy gave 2,000 rupees. Who gave 2,000? Okay. How much does the sandwich guy owe me? Wrong. 8,000, no? How much does the sandwich guy owe me? 8,000, right? Because he was supposed to give me 10,000. He was supposed to give me 10. Did he give me 2,000 back? He didn't give me, but on behalf of me, he gave it to somebody. But for whom was it? Mine, right? My money only, instead of giving it to me, he will say directly will do -2. No emotions. The business entity concept has no emotion. He will say money na, okay involved. Take the money, deducted. So business entity concept is the most important concept of accounting because you always treat business as an individual person. Are you clear? Because of this concept only, capital is treated as a liability in the books. Are you clear? Clear? Now, look at from the sandwich guy. He got 10,000 rupees. Okay. First month, he bought bread, tomato, all of those, and he sold for 12,000 rupees. He sold for what?
12,000.
Now, whom does this 2,000 belong to? Business or the owner? Business or the owner? Correct, no? But the business is a very nice guy. That business guy is what? A very nice guy. What he says is, Arjun, you trusted me when no one was there and put in 10,000 rupees. The 2,000 I made is because of you. The business is saying what? The 2,000 rupees. Like the old Rajnikant or Rajkumar movies, I don't want to have any, udar or the liability on you. Take the 2,000 back because I have earned because of you. The business will give back the profit to the owners. That's where profit also becomes a liability. And to understand this, to be very honest, it broke my head. First day when my accounting teacher said profit is a liability. And I'm trying to understand profit is why I'm making money. How is making money a liability? And then somebody said, Illa, this is part of your business entity concept. Then I understood, okay, now it makes sense because I am not making money for myself. I, as a business, am making money for the owners, which is the return for the risk he has taken. Now, when a business makes a loss, what will happen? When a business makes a loss, what will happen?
Maybe the capital will be reduced.
Capital will be reduced. Or we say, a loss is an asset to the business. Shocking. If profit is a liability, then obviously loss should be the opposite. So I'll tell you, when it becomes a loss, the owners are supposed to make good the loss. Let's say if you are running a business, it went for a loss. What will you do? You will put in your own money. That means what? As a business, I know I'm going to get that money. From whom? From owners. I'm getting an obligation to get the money in the future. Isn't it an asset? Practically think, if you all agreed that profit is a liability, then you should agree that loss is an asset, no? If I make profit, I give it to the owners. Don't you think if I make loss, I have to collect money from the owners? If I have to collect money from the owners, what does the rule of assets say? If you are going to get a financial commitment or resource in the future, isn't it my asset? This has happened because of a past event. What was the past event? Business went for a loss. Because of it in the future, you are going to get good money to it. He is giving it to you. If he says, I am not going to give it to you, what will happen? Business will close down. Agreed?
Yes.
Right? Now, so we covered two concepts, major concepts of accounting. First concept is what? Business entity concept. That what does the business entity concept say? Business and owners of the business are two different. And I'm going to be doing accounting from whose angle? Business angle. Are you clear? Second concept? Money measurement concept. What does money measurement concept say? That I shall be doing all the accounting which is only related to money. Clear? Done? So first thing of accounting is here. Accounting definition says accounting is identifying of transaction and events. Accounting is what? Now whose transaction and events I'm going to identify? So from now on when I say I mean business. Okay. So from now on I'll only be talking singular. That I means business, you all means individuals. Okay. So when I'm talking about it, when I'm accounting is what? Identifying transactions or events related to the enterprise. That means I'm trying to identify all the transactions and events which are related to my enterprise, which should be what? Monetary in nature. I am not concerned about me talking to people. I am only concerned about monetary transactions. So first thing, I have to identify transactions and events belonging to my enterprise. Then it should be monetary in nature. 3 things clear? Now once I do that, I follow a process of recording, classifying, summarizing, interpreting and communicating. All these are there in the notes. I am just covering it up. So you remember this, then when you read it, it becomes more easier. So what am I doing? Now let's say for an example, I said, first example which I took, he paid money to her, he paid money to her, I paid money to you guys. These are all transactions which are happening around me. But I am concerned about what? Only transactions which has happened mine. So I only take one, which all I have done. So I made a list. Oh, these are the transactions which I have entered into. Now I have to do a recording. Recording means trying to put it in one book, that these are my transactions. In accounting terms, we do recording through a process called as journal entry. So what is journal entry? Recording transactions in a book called journal. Journal is the book name. There we record all the transactions. Now, what's your name? Sorry. Mohan. So let's say I paid money to Mohan. That's a transaction. How do I record it? How do I record it? In accounting, we record everything in the format of plus or minus. We record everything in the format of what? Plus or minus. What is this plus or minus? Plus basically is like a debit. Minus is a credit. In a very layman term. So why we do it also I'll tell you. The moment if I say accounting is addition or subtraction, people outside will not value us. But the moment I say, you know what, when the money comes in you have to debit and the money goes out to credit, you'll be like, oh, accountant, super, pay money, because I'm not understanding. But basically I'll tell you, we are only doing is a plus and minus. So whenever, now look into it, when I pay money to him, money is going out or coming in? What did I say? Money going out? Credit. He paid me money. Debit. So we do something like a debit credit and all. Instead of writing plus or minus, we do it as a debit and credit. That format is called as what? Journal entry. So recording is done not in form of sentences, in form of what? Journal entries. Are you clear? So once I do recording, the next process is called as classifying. What is this classification? I'll give you one simpler example, understand this. I paid Mohan 100 rupees. Mohan paid me back 300 rupees. Is both transactions?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name?
Nanda.
Nanda Kumar. I paid Nanda Kumar 500. Okay. Please remember all the things what I'm saying. First was what? I paid Mohan 100. Mohan paid me 300. I paid Nanda Kumar.
500.
What's your name? Dharani. Dharani, right? Dharani. Dharani paid me 700. Okay, done. Now, how much should Mohan pay me back? Or how much should I pay Mohan back?
200.
How did you say 200?
300.
So you gave 100 rupees and he gave 300 rupees. He paid 100 rupees back and you need to pay 200.
Correct, no? Okay. How much should I pay Nanda Kumar?
You paid 500.
I paid you 500.
Yes.
Give me then. Okay, so he is supposed to give me 500 back, and with her, I have to pay her 7. How did you know individually that these are the monies to be paid? Correct, no? Simpler thing. You did. But in real life, do you think everything would be this simpler that only one transaction would happen with an individual? No, right? So what happens in a classification is, I would try to classify every transaction that has happened with Mohan in one umbrella. Everything which has happened with Dharani in one account. Everything with Nandakumar in another account. So all this recording I would have done under different names, right? But I will try to identify, oh Nandakumar, all the transactions belonging to Nandakumar, bring it on one side. All the transactions belonging to Dharani, bring it on the other side. To, Mohan, bring it on. This process is called as classification. Are you clear? Recording, I said plus or minus, then we try to put everything under one roof. This is called as classification, and classification we do it through a process called as ledger. Are you clear? Now, from the ledger accounts, I try to find a summary of each of them, which you already did it for me. After I classified with Mohan, he explained me maths. Sir, you gave him 100, he gave you 300, 100 got cancelled, you have to pay him 200. Whereas with Nandakumar, you gave him 500, he did not give you. Whereas with Dharani, she gave you 700, he actually summarized me in depth, right? That is what is summarization. But in accounting, you can't keep doing this sentence and all. We do through a statement. We do through a statement which gives me a summary of all the ledger accounts. Which gives me a summary of what? Ledger accounts. This is called as. We'll be covering all of it in depth. So just understand the terms because we use it very frequently. Then people will say, hey, from where did you use that term? So I'm just trying to bring it. So trial balance is called as what? A summary of all my ledger accounts. So in my case, what was the summary? Mohan has to pay me. No, I have to pay Mohan. I have to pay Mohan 200. Nandakumar has to pay me 500. Dharani have to pay. I have to pay, right? Now see here. Understand this. I have to pay Mohan 200. Asset or liability? Nandakumar? Then Dharani? So this is what we have to understand. Here I am not trying to find every transactions, I will only find towards the end. Let's say now I pay back Nandakumar 200. I pay Mohan 200. What will happen to Mohan in my books? Account will be closed. So by the end of the year, you will not even bother about who Mohan is. Because you will say, boss, you had to pay you 200, I paid you 200, get lost. I won't say get lost because you have to do business with them, but I'll say I don't care, you are not there anymore in the books. No due. Whereas when Nandakumar comes, I'll treat him with coffee and all. Why? Because I have to get 500 back from him. Correct? Because if he runs away, then where will I pay? She will come with all the women protest group saying that 700 rupees you have to pay. So I still have to pay her 700, but it all depends on me taking care of. So he is an asset to me, whereas she is a liability for me, right? So we try to look at it end of the year. What is my balance? That is done through what? Trial balance. Are you clear? So what's a trial balance in layman term? Summary of all my ledger accounts. Are you clear? No problem? Okay. Now trial balance is my core for accounting. Trial balance is the core for accounting. Why? Because with the help of trial balance, we prepare something called as final accounts. What do we prepare? So what does a final accounts comprise of? A final accounts comprises of three things. Balance sheet. I don't know why. Balance sheet, profit and loss account, and cash flow statement. Three things comprises of financial statements of a company. Which are the three things? Balance sheet, profit and loss account, and cash. So we'll try to understand these three things carefully. What does each of them mean? We, instead of calling balance sheet now, because we are now advanced intermediate level guys, right, or executive level guys, we don't use it as balance sheet anymore. We will try to call it as statement of P&L. Okay, we'll come to this. What do you call? It's my income statement, or so. First thing, what's an income statement? I want you guys to understand. I'm going to be covering a third concept of accounting. We finished materiality. We finished what? Business entity. Now I'm going to be covering two concepts. Concept number one called as periodicity concept. Concept number one called as what? Periodicity. But to understand periodicity concept, we have to understand something called as a going concern concept. Okay, to understand even going concern concept, there is another concept called accrual concept we have to understand. All are interrelated, so I am trying to cover all the three into it. What does an accrual concept say? Okay, for me as a business, I record transactions as and when it happens, irrespective of the payment. Listen to it. I record transactions as and when it happens, not based on the receipts or payments. Example, I enter into a contract. Listen to all of the examples I am giving it to you guys, because these are all part of your first 5 mark questions which are there. So please listen to it. I entered into a contract with Mohan. That I will be purchasing 10,000 kgs of rice over the next 5 years, and he should be supplying it to me at 100 rupees a kilo. Understood? What did I say?
You'll be purchasing 10,000.
I'll be purchasing 10,000 kgs, 100 rupees over the next 5 years. Okay, should I record? Okay, how many of you are saying yes? Either there is raise hand or don't raise. What is this? We are not doing any balle balle. Okay. We are getting back to the concept. Was there a monetary transaction? Was there a monetary transaction? I only said I will purchase from you. That's all. When I purchase, when he supplies goods, contract act, there should be either one party would have done, other party should acknowledge. Entering into a contract, it's okay. It's an agreement, right? Till I purchase. When I say purchase, when he delivers goods to me, or I placed an order, I paid him a money, then there is a monetary benefit. Just by entering into a contract, it's like saying I was going on the road. You guys came and said, sir, tomorrow I'll attend your class. I'll come tomorrow, pay your fees, attend class. I didn't see you tomorrow. I cannot say record, Mohan is my student. He would have told, because he would have found me irritating. It's like to run away. He said, sir, pakka tomorrow I'll see you in class. But that doesn't mean that. But if he has paid fees for me, even if he does not greet me outside, I don't even care. Hey, he has paid money to me. Business is sorted. Accounting, not as a teacher. I'm saying from an accounting person. Right? So I am trying to understand. See, there has to be a transaction which has happened. When I say transaction, either there has to be something which gives an acknowledgement, right, that this is something where he has to pay me money, or he has to supply. Here we are only saying this is like fixing a price contract, right? I will buy 10,000, you pay me supply. So I'll say, hey Mohan, supply me 1,000 kgs. Hey Mohan, supply me 1,000 kgs. Now is there a monetary transaction? Mohan, supply me 1,000 kgs. Is there a monetary transaction? Okay, Mohan delivered 1,000 kgs. Is there a monetary transaction? I have not paid any money. Think about it. I have not paid any money. Is there any monetary transaction? Okay, monetary does not mean you should have paid. Should I pay now or future? As long as I am paid or I am liable to pay, there is a monetary transaction. I should either pay or I should be liable to pay. In this case, the moment he supplies goods to me and I acknowledge the receipt, that's what your contract act says, right? As long as I acknowledge the receipt of it, that means the moment I acknowledge or I do any act, that means he sent me the goods, I opened it and used it for the production. I don't acknowledge, still it's what? An act of acceptance, right? So that means what? Now I become liable to pay to him. The moment I become liable to pay, don't you think there's a monetary component? Sure. Last bench. Science says I'm more concerned about you. These guys though will do. You don't ask them. You without even concept, you give them a journal entry, they'll pass. I'm telling you. You didn't understand. Then ask no. Why? I told you on the beginning only. First day I'm just asking. See, simpler. When we both got into an agreement, there is only a price component that we have finalized on. That okay, you will supply to me at 100 rupees a kg. But when he supplies goods for me, this is the first time there's a transaction happening. Just because I signed up for 10,000 doesn't mean that I have to buy it from him. But the moment he supplies 1,000, do you think he will keep quiet? Will you keep quiet? No, right? Now he will ask me 1,000 into 100, 1 lakh rupees. Arjun, give me 1 lakh rupees. Yes or no? That means there's a monetary transaction. That's what I asked. So, what accrual concept says is here. I paid him, now look at the other case now. I paid him 1 lakh rupees and I told him you supply to me 1,000 kgs 3 months later. How much did I pay him?
1,000.
Today. When is he supposed to supply me?
3 months.
So when should I record? Today or 3 months later?
Today.
Pakka?
Yes.
Why? But so the rule of accrual says what? In the case 1, there was no monetary transaction which happened. That means I neither paid him the money nor he received. But there was an act which happened which makes me liable to pay. In that case also record it. Second case, there was no liability for me to pay. But since I made a monetary transaction, money involved, record it. So what does accrual concept say? Record transactions as and when it happens, irrespective of whether the money is paid or received. So if money is paid first, you will record it then. If money is not paid, it's okay. Let's say, I'll give you this example. For the ones who have done your accounting, for the non-accounting guys you forget, for the done guys who, you have seen that salaries, right? What is this outstanding salary? Not yet paid, but you are liable to pay. Why did this liability come? Because you worked with the company for 1 month. At the end of the month, the employer becomes liable to pay your salary. Whether you pay or not, you are supposed to record it. Because of which concept? Understood? Still no. You worked for me for a month. 1 month. Let's say April 1st to April 30th. I am paying you salary on, let's say, June 1st. When should I record as an accountant? Should I record it on 1st June when I pay you salary? Or should I record it on 30th June, 30th April is the question. You worked for me April 1st to April 30th. If you work for me for 1 month, I have to pay you salary end of that month. I paid you salary on 1st June. When should I record it is the question. June, no? That is wrong. As per accrual concept, whenever you become due to pay, when did you become due to pay? 30th April, right? So 30th April you have to record. Guys, are you clear? Online, Anisha, Anirudh, Anuradha, Akshaya. Guys, are you all fine? Fine? Okay. So accrual concept is done. Now what is this going concept? What is this going concept and why is it very important for the business? Now whenever you start a business, right, you always assume that the business will continue to run in the future. It will continue to run in the future. I'll tell you one example, touch wood. You come and join for CS executive class. I'll tell you guys, you pay the fees today. I don't know whether the batch will happen tomorrow or not. You come pay the fee. Tomorrow if we are all there, batch will happen. If it's not there, we'll see. Do you think you will pay fees?
No.
Pakka. What are you assuming is a going concern? You are believing that okay, these guys have been here for long, they will continue to be there. If even a slightest clue you get that hey, you know what, this institute is closing down, what will you do? Let's say assuming that today you get a news from somebody that hey, you know what, tomorrow onwards you will not be there. What will you do? And I'm teaching concept, I'm not trying to close down my business, so yeah. Go ask for the money back, proper, right? So now you would have paid, let's say, some fees of 50,000. Okay, you know the institute is going to close down today. Institute says, I don't have money to pay you guys 50,000 back. What will you do? You're too much of not this what happens. Be practical. Be practical. What will you do? I am saying I don't have 50,000 to pay.
I'll give time, sir.
Okay, then I am saying it cannot be done. Think practically. He said something, huh? So he is saying whatever I find I'll take and run. Okay. No, practical. I'll tell you what also the other guys will do. They'll say, oh, I've attended 2 batches, 2 subjects till now. Balance, this is there. Sir, you at least pay some money. 50,000 or 2 subjects done or 10,000 gone. You pay me 35,000 at least because I have to go. Somewhere you will say, pay me some money because you think filing a suit, getting that money and all, it's not a practical thing. Right? You will try to see, like he said, hey, this laptop, I think it will get my 35,000, he'll take and run away. Because he's assuming that this laptop, if it is sold, he will get the money to recover his fees. He is knowingly, unknowingly, you have to understand what happened here. You joined this business or you joined this coaching center assuming it's going to continue for the future. Going concern. The moment you realize that it's not going to continue, you went into a desperation to get whatever it is required by selling, right? Now, this is what is the crux of accounting. I'll tell you why. What is an asset? What is an asset? I started the class with it. What is an asset?
These are future benefits.
Correct. You are having an event in the past because you are assuming that you're going to get benefit in the future. It's not there, then what is an asset? If future is only not there, what is an asset then? Because it's a going concern, that's why there is an asset. You understood? If there is no future, you follow something called as realization concept. What concept?
Realization.
What does realization concept say? You try to get whatever you get by selling it. If you sell a particular asset, so it will no longer be an asset. It will be recorded at realizable value. You have seen this in partnership account?
Yes.
Dissolution of firm. You prepared something called as realization account. That is because partnership firm is closing down. If it is closing down, going concern concept is getting violated. If it is getting violated, it will no longer be an asset. It will have to be realized. You will sell. Now does it make sense, something you have learnt in the past?
Yes, sir.
That was your first PUC concept. Going concern concept. Going concern you remember, but what happens if it does not follow, you don't know. Because I am doing this because we have something called as liquidation of company. There we had realization of, dissolution of partnership. Here we have liquidation of company. If you know the concept, it's the same. Right? So, what concept? So, clear with it. Going concern concept says my business will continue for long future. Because of it, I have assets and liabilities. Are you clear? If the going concern concept gets violated, we record everything under the realization. Under the realization. Okay. If the business is going to continue for the future, what is this periodicity concept? What is this periodicity concept? Okay. Now, I'll tell you guys this. You keep studying. Don't write your exams. Keep studying.
There's no point.
Why?
There should be a period.
I see like period. Huh. So, for business also, what happens is, see, I know my business will continue for the future, but I have to assess the performance. See, for an example, whatever you have studied, if I don't give you guys test, what will happen? You will never know where you stand. You think, most of them, I find it, sorry, I'm deviating a bit. Most of the students think writing test is doing a charity to us. I'm generally saying, whenever you talk to a student, you say, why aren't you taking test? Like, I have paid fees, why are you asking? They personally think that they're doing some charity to me by writing test. I don't know, I'm already a CA. I already have established myself. You becoming CA or CS, how will it make a change in my career? I don't know. Somebody is taking some bit of effort to make you guys pass through the line. That also you have a problem. You think that you are trying to do charity to us by writing you. I always ask this in the first class of mine. I have zero obligation with you guys. Honestly. You paid fees, you are taking class. We have all the resources available to make you guys pass. Whether you want, you pass. You don't want, you don't pass. We never promote ourselves to say, come join our academy, you'll get a first rank. We have never done it till now. And we, as a team also, we don't want to do it at any point of time. We only say, come here, you learn. Learning is something I can guarantee you. Whether I can't come and write exam on your behalf, no. You write, you pass. If somebody comes and says, Arjun, I'll give you 10% of my lifelong salary to you, I will personally take attention to ensure that you pass. Because I have a risk and return. I know 10 students you make pass, you can sit aramse at home lifelong. I'll take personal interest. Morning I'll call you 5 o'clock. Hey, did you wake up? Did not come, I'll come knock your door and wake you up also. All that I'll do, provided you give me a commitment, 10% contract. Right? Otherwise, what you are paid, you are getting a service, contract ends. Right? So your assessments, whatever we do, is for your benefit, not mine. Right? So you want to pass, you do. Without writing exams, can I pass? You can definitely pass. By writing all the exams, will I definitely pass? I don't know. On the day of exam, if you get some bit of mental pressure, what can we do? Right? So please do, all your tests are only to know your smaller assessments so that it builds your confidence. I still remember because during exams you're sitting alone getting depressed and other things. So there is some small incident which happened which made me also feel better about the whole preparation thing. So I have a memory problem, so I cannot remember things. And if I read today, tomorrow morning you ask me, I can't remember anything. And I go blank, complete blank. And it's a problem that I have as a person. Now I cannot tell in the exam that, hey, you know what, I can't remember. Right? But I started seeing my nephew out there to just understand how do I prepare for my exam. Because one said, imagine I read everything. Next day morning I feel everything is new. And I keep reading again and again. I would have read maybe each book I would have read 10-12 times till now. And After that, I have not touched my book from the time I have qualified. Whatever I am teaching is from that day only. I don't prepare for my class or do anything. I come in and teach from my learnings what I've had 13, 14 years back. But I can't remember things. That's it. So I saw my nephew. Do you all remember Twinkle Twinkle Little Star?
Yes.
Everyone? Anyone who does not remember? Okay. When did you learn that? Oh, you're so old. Okay. Yeah, some LKG, UKG sometime. What you read 15, 20 years ago, you remember. What you read a week earlier, you can't remember. There are 2-3 problems for it. If you go and observe your kid out there, when they're learning Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I'll tell you what they do. They would have learned in all the music format. They come home, to whoever they meet, they will tell Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You go take them to the sky and show them star, they'll start telling. They will see the star, twinkle, twinkle, little stars. This so many times they keep repeating without even knowing that their subconscious memory will start storing all of it. Right? And when you keep doing this multiple tests and all, what happens? See, for the name of test you would have read. You would have failed. Doesn't matter, you would have read. That is more important. You read once, you know what it is. You read twice, thrice. It would have stored in your subconscious memory. On the day of exam, when you go and write in front of book, you will remember all of it. What we try to do, I'll tell you one of a tip on how to prepare for your paper, but I'm trying to say is, this exams, whether you study or don't study, let's say you get even that 15-20 minutes before the test, write it. Just write it whatever is required. You will definitely be better. See, don't you think by writing test you would have improvised 1% at least? That is more than enough. You do that for 40 times, 40% improvement you have done with your paper. You guys want to do everything one day before exam. Full 100% improvement. What? You are trying to take a rocket or what? It doesn't happen. So please try to do those periodical tests whenever it's possible. I'm saying get time, just run it through. It will help you guys in ensuring that you clear in one attempt. And mistake number 2, what I've seen students doing is, most of you guys aim for a 50. The moment you aim for 50, you have failed your exams. Always dream to get a rank. When you're preparing, always dream to get a rank. Towards the end of the exam, you can give up your dream. But while preparing, what will happen? Let me get a rank. Imagine what all benefits you'll get by getting a rank. All of a sudden, so much respect with your family. Suddenly, your relatives and all will say, I only told him to do CS. For the ones who are girlfriends have broken up or boyfriends have broken up, they'll come back. Right? There are too many benefits to impress people. Suddenly, your collar will go like this. Suddenly, everything. Paper, if you are in some smaller city, paper will also cover you guys. So many benefits. If you fail, what will happen? Only get scoldings. Which is better? Rank, no. At least aim to get it. Towards the end, I'm saying it's up to you, but you won't fail. But when you aim for a 40, imagine if you get 1 mark less, you are repeating the whole thing. And getting a rank is the most easiest one. I'm saying, because you have only one thing to do. Study. Failing is also the most easiest. You don't have to study. Don't do in between. Just passing is the most difficult thing. I still don't know how people say I just managed to scrape through. That means after writing exam, you're going to all the temples. Today morning, Monday temple, Tuesday temple, Wednesday temple. Imagine after your exam, 2 months, why do you want to waste your time on thinking about result? Rather, don't you think you should enjoy your 2 months after exam? All the things I'm saying, when you're studying, please keep your mobile phones away. Reason number 1, mobile phone is colorful, whereas your books are black and white. You will remember color more than your black and white picture. I do agree Rajnikant's movie is coming, all of it is coming, but keep it as a reward for you guys. I have watched movie on the CA final exam day also because I'm a big time Vijay fan. So I watch all of his movies first day, first show. That too early mornings, 3:30. I'm there irrespective of what. My parents literally have thought that I would flunk all my exams. One because of my memory thing, other thing I'm not a topper or other stuff. But the way I prepare is to be very sure that no matter what happens, I know I get this marks in a paper. Whenever people have said that's the most important chapter, I've not studied that chapter only. Because that means people will do mistakes, what is expected. But let's say the chapter which most of them don't expect, if you get that right, you're the only guy who has got right. Try and I've always studied only on the easy, difficult and all leave it last day. Somebody will be there, smarter guy will come and explain. Focus easy, medium. It's easier to remember smaller things than to remember bigger chapters, right? You can find your strategy provided you have an intention to make yourself pass. If you yourself are doubting about hey whether I'll pass or not, no matter what, you will fail. And sometime I had this incident. One student came and said, "Sir, my exam went bad. I'll fail." I said, "Okay, fail." He said, "What? You are not having any emotions?" I said, "You are only saying you are failing. Then what should I tell? Oh, tatastu, you pass. What? I'm a magician or what?" Right? You are only saying you are failing. Then how do you expect me to tell you you'll pass? So first, have your confidence, right? And passing an exam again and again, I'm saying, you can pass even with a day left for an exam, provided you believe yourself. And most of it depends on how much mind you keep your mind free. Mobile is definitely a distraction, and I could understand that whole thing what you guys are going through when I'm writing my MBA exams. Half the time because I have my work going on, I'm on mobile, I'll be studying, suddenly a mobile message comes in. Then next time I go back, I'm like, first of all, I don't remember. On top of it, I see this and go back, I'm like, I should restart it again. And half my exams have gone and written without any preparation. But somehow God's been kind to me, I've been clearing exams. But I don't think so. Luck could favor everyone so much. But please study. That's the only way of passing. And after passing, no one cares what you have done in the past. No one cares how you passed, what you did, other things, whatever story you tell, people will believe it. Right? Each of you guys have come in from different places. I would always prefer, and I'm not saying that you have to give a credit to us or other stuff. Our teachers, like I said, are all more or less your or somewhere more or 2-3 years more than you guys. We have all cleared here. They have come back here because they saw that we were providing some value. So I'm saying take most use of it. I think they spend time with you guys. Make the most out of it. They are okay. They are doing nothing from morning till night, sitting here only. Call them, they'll explain you whatever is required. But if you don't make the most of it, you are literally wasting yourself and the money what you have paid. Right? Please ensure you clear. I would prefer you guys to clear. Anytime you have a problem, drop me a message, I'll call you. But calls I don't pick up, so drop me a message, I'll call you guys for sure in a day if you are finding some difficulty. But let's get back to the periodicity concept. So I said, as a going concern concept, what are we doing? We are continue to run the business for a longer time. But I have to assess the performance, right? I can assess a performance only if I say, hey, you know what? What did you do in 3 months? Can I assess that?
Yes.
What did you do in 3 months? I have a definitive time period for which I can do. How do I do an assessment? What you did in this 3 months? I'll compare with what did you do in the previous 3 months. What did you do previous 3 months? If I say, oh, you keep doing, we'll see. You keep doing, we'll see. What are you going to check your performance against? Right? So what do? We divide our going concern concept into some equal intervals. And this equal interval, we call it as a period. Are you clear? For me, we spoke about profit and loss account, right? So you have to understand the profit and loss account. What does it mean? Profit and loss account is always prepared for a period. What do we prepare profit and loss account for? For all the purpose. If nothing mentioned in the book, we follow accounting year. We follow which year? What is accounting year? 1st of April to 31st of March. That is my accounting year. Sometimes for companies we also follow something quarterly. Every 3 months once we break it. That's also my accounting period. But for all our calculation purpose, accounting period is what? 1st April to 31st. So what is a profit and loss account statement? A profit and loss account is basically a statement which tells me how much did the business earn during a year and match it with the expenses, listen to it, match it with the expenses incurred to earn that revenue during that particular period. What is profit and loss account? How much income did I earn in a particular year? I match it with the expenses. Expense of what? There are two expenses I'm matching. One, whatever is incurred to earn that revenue, and it should have also happened within the accounting period. Are you clear? If I deduct income minus expense, what will happen? We find the profit. That's why it's called profit and loss account. So profit and loss account talks about my performance for an accounting period. How do I find performance? Matching my income with the expense. Does it make sense? Right? Now let's come to the balance sheet. What is a balance sheet? Balance sheet is a financial position of a business. What is balance sheet? What is this financial position of a business is? On a particular date. On which date? Particular date. Nothing mentioned. For me, the particular date is end of the accounting year. That is which date? 31st March. So as on 31st March, what is my financial position? What do we mean by a financial position is how much I own minus how much I owe. How much I own minus what is own? Asset. What is that I owe? Assets minus liability is called as owner's capital. What is owner's capital? That is, in a business, this is what I own. I pay back to the outsiders. Whatever is left is mine. That is my owner's capital. Are you clear? Right? So balance sheet is always prepared for a particular date. It's always prepared on a particular date, whereas accounting is prepared, profit and loss account is prepared for a particular period. Are you guys clear? Done? Right. So I covered three concepts: accrual, going concern, periodicity, and also covered something called as matching concept. What was matching concept? You match all your income with your expenses for a particular year. Why do we do it? Find the profit. Are you clear till here? So we'll recap whatever we have done. So I am done pretty much with your first part of all the theory. So we tried looking into the definition of accounting. What did we do? Accounting definition. Accounting is identifying transactions or an events of a business enterprise which is monetary nature, then recording, interpreting and communicating. Whom do we communicate? We communicate to various stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders? We're all related to business. Employees, owners, creditors, debtors, government, shareholders, all of those guys we communicate, right? So definition of accounting clear? So I have actually covered most bit of your first part of the theory. So we will try to run through it after the break. Then we'll start the actual journal entry and ledger accounts for today. Tomorrow we'll do a little bit of trial balance and other stuff. You do not have questions of, so I'll tell you, you have questions in the first chapter about identifying whether it's a personal account, real account, nominal account. You have some bit of journal entries. Then you have some bit of theory where it says, will you be showing it on the debit side or the credit side? And theory. That's the whole chapter. So I'll be running you through for your understanding from the CA syllabus about different kinds of accounts. It is only for understanding purpose. For your exam, whatever I've given in the book is more, like the notes, it's more than enough. Okay, 3 questions or 4 questions is there, that's more than enough. That will do it. But other things what I'm covering is only to ensure that you understand a little bit better, so that the other chapters when we do it becomes easier. Are you guys fine? Yeah? Okay, we covered the definition of accounting. Guys, cover the definition. Okay, now just understand this part. What are the objectives of accounting? Okay, now first thing, what are we doing? Accounting is about recording. Objective number 1, to ensure that we record all the transactions. Then we do what? We do classification. Classification is not an objective. Summarization is not an objective. But from the results of summarization, we do 3 statements, right? To ascertain the profit is an objective. To ascertain the financial position of the business is an objective. 3 objectives are done without even knowing anything. 4th one is to know the solvency position. What do we mean by solvency position? What do we mean by solvency? Company. How do you know whether the company can pay back the debt? I gave you one example. Loss is an asset. That's that insolvency position. If the company is running under profit,
Recording in progress.
that means you know you can pay back the debt. If loss is becoming an asset, that means what? Boss, owners have to give money, otherwise the business will shut down. But to know this, you have to prepare what? Balance sheet. Because I have to know the position of what I own, what I owe. So solve it. Last one, why are we doing all of it? To provide information. So all the 5 points covered. So just run it through. Now this is something you have to mug up the distinction between bookkeeping and accounting. I don't know why they like this question, which is not relevant, but they like this question again and again. They keep asking this. Distinction between bookkeeping and accounting, you have to mug it up. Okay, sorry, I have to repeat this. I was on mute. Okay, so I was talking about the objectives of accounting. So when I saw talking of the objectives of accounting, 5 objectives. Recording. Second one I said ascertain the profit. Then third objective, financial position. Solvency position, what did I say? Assets minus liability. Last one, we are doing this all to provide the information. Are you clear? The next part of it is bookkeeping. To understand what is bookkeeping, right? What is accounting? Recording, classifying, summarizing, all of it, right? Only recording part is called as bookkeeping. Only which part? Recording part is called as bookkeeping. Earlier, there were 2 things. There was somebody called as bookkeeper. He used to only do recording, then give it to the accounting guy. He used to do the class. Now it does not happen. Now we don't even have any guy. You only have to copy, scan a invoice. It will only do accounting and give the balance sheet. I don't know why we are still learning it, but the institute tells it we have to learn it. So bookkeeping, I said, it's the art of recording the recording all the transaction in the books in the chronological order. Now, basically, I told you whatever is the output of bookkeeping will become an input for accounting. I don't know why we read all of it. It is maintaining the systematic records and all. You have to mug it up. There's nothing to teach. You have 5 definitions. They ask for 5 marks. Please just mug it up. Completely useless in life also. But read it. So we covered this part if you remember. We did the accounting cycle, recording of transaction. From there we do journal. From journal it goes to ledger, trial balance. In trial balance we prepare final accounts. Right? So we covered all of it. I'll just run through. What's a transaction? I told you anything which a business activity where the money is involved. That becomes a transaction. Now event, basically when we look into it, it's an outcome of certain things. Let's say for an example, profit. Profit is an event. Why? Because there was series of transactions which happened and because of which you ended up, what do you say, getting a profit. So sum total of all the transactions become an event. Nothing to worry about. It's basically any incidents, the result of that incidence is called as an event. for a layman. Now you have to understand the difference between a cash discount and trade discount. Cash discount and trade discount. Remember this example what I'm telling you. For all your cash discount and trade discount, all your life, it will make it easier. You guys have gone to D-Mart or Big Bazaar? Okay. When you go to D-Mart, you would have seen, let's say, what do we buy in D-Mart? Okay, biscuits. Which biscuit? Good Day. He's a nice guy, optimist guy. Good Day biscuit. How much is a Good Day biscuit packet?
10 rupees.
Okay, let's say we are buying something which is a packet which is worth 100. How much discount you get on D-Mart? 5%. Okay, so to make it a little generous, 100 rupees was the packet of biscuit, 10 rupees was the discount, 10%. So it is available at 90 rupees. You went to the counter. It said if you pay through Paytm, you will get 5% cashback. Or let's say 5 rupees cashback. So how much did you pay for the Good Day biscuit? 85. Now, how much discount did you get? Okay. Now, what is trade discount and what is cash discount in this? Let's try understanding it.
Paytm is trade discount. No, Paytm is trade discount.
Okay. So, let me explain complete. Yeah. So, what is a trade discount? Trade discount is basically given to everyone. Trade discount is given to everyone. So, whether I go, you go, Mr. XYZ goes, will everyone get Good Day biscuit at 90 rupees in D-Mart?
Yes.
That's a trade discount. Why did you get that 5 rupees additional discount? Because you paid through Paytm. Did everyone get or only Paytm users got? That is something you earned. Right? Trade discount never gets recorded. Because my purchase price itself is 90 rupees. You cannot go and say, oh, you know what, I got it at 100 rupees worth 90. Boss, anyone who goes to D-Mart would have got it 90. But where is that additional discount you got? 5. That gets recorded in the books. So trade discounts are never. Whereas cash discount, how we record and all, we'll see later. You don't have it in your syllabus, so it's okay. Yes, sir. Yeah. You want help for your exam? You want help for your exam? No. Yeah,
Sir, it's like information technology.
we know, sir. What you know, information technology.
Thanks.
So understood the concept? Now we are fine. So trade discount, it's something which is part of your list price. So that is what I'm going to record at. Whereas cash discount is recorded as an income in my books because that's something I've earned. Clear? We told you asset. Now you know, in asset we have something that you have to remember. Tangible assets is something I can feel. Intangible is what? Intangible, I'll have to give you, okay, understand this. What is an intangible asset? Intangible means there are two kinds of asset, tangible and intangible. Tangible means something I can feel. Building, land, furniture, those are called as tangible assets. Intangible is something like a ghost. You can't see, you can't feel, but you get benefit out of it. Example. Okay, goodwill is a wrong thing, but we'll say patent, copyright, trademark. I'll tell you goodwill, why we don't use it often. Trademark, copyright. What is copyright? You get into an agreement with her, madam, your books I'm going to publish lifelong. I have a right, no one else has. That means that's the money I pay to her is a right for me to publish her books. Can I see that right? No. Goodwill, why we generally don't use it is, what is goodwill? We'll be using this term very often. What is goodwill? Reputation of the business. Okay. For the commerce, non-commerce students, you close your ears for 2 minutes. Other guys, you listen. I'll have some argument. You did reputation of the business to. When did you learn this? Partnership accounts. Correct, no? Where else you would have learned? Partnership accounts only, no? Goodwill you would have learned about it. Reputation of the business to earn profits over other businesses for X number of years is called as goodwill. Okay. That goodwill, to your shock, will never be recorded in the books. Correct, no? Because according to the rules, self-generated goodwill cannot be shown in the books of accounts. Then why are we still learning about goodwill? Is the question. What goodwill you have to talk as a company accountants? Now you can listen. Now what you have to learn? What is your worth? Okay, what's your worth? Okay, let's assume it's worth 100 crores. Think no, at least dream big. That also, oh, you don't know he'll come next that day you said, oh, now you should see. So, let's assume it's worth 100 crores. I paid him 120 crores to become partner in my company. I paid him what?
120 crores.
What was his worth?
100.
When I purchased him, see here, my assets is 100 crore, whereas my liability to pay him is what? 120. This difference, what I am paying more, is called as goodwill. That is the only goodwill we can show it in the books of accounts. Not whatever you claim, I have a goodwill, keep it in your pocket. If somebody is ready to pay value to that, only then it gets recorded, or else it's not. Right? So, what we are talking of intangibles is, there is some source you cannot see, but because of it you are getting benefits. Trademark, copyright, even research and development, certain things which happens are part of my goodwill, intangible assets. Current assets we covered, told you which can be realized. Wasting assets, what's a wasting asset? Basically, if you know mines, right? So, how does a mining contract work? So, government generally says, okay, you are allowed to mine in this particular region. They will say you can mine up to 10,000 tons. They'll only give you permission to mine how many tons? Let's say 10,000 tons. That means every time you extract, the value of it keeps reducing it. Right? Let's say today I extract 2,000 tons. How much more can you extract?
8,000.
That's your limit. That's all. Even if you would have found a gold, you can't do anything because it's all restricted under the government. Government only gives you permission to mine a particular level. Those are called as wasting assets because it keeps reducing as you extract. Quarry, mines, gold mines, petroleum, all of it fall under the wasting assets. Liability we covered. Contingent liability, I want you guys to understand, we'll cover a little bit in the accounting standard. What is this contingent liability? I am taking this example no, for everything. You guys did O. You did O. He emotionally got hurt and he is not coming to class from tomorrow. Better. Why people hate you so much? Okay. So he came and he said, filed a case against me. Okay, he filed a case against me saying that because of it my, I am not able to focus, my morale has come down, I don't want to do CS and I lost my 100 crores which I would have earned in the future. He filed a case against me. Okay, now is it a liability? Is it something as an accountant should I record in the books? You filed a case, boss. 100 crore damages against me. You cracked a joke. They said, oh, my moral went down. I am not becoming CS. Because of it, my reputation of 100 crores went for a toss. I need a damage of 100 crores from Arjun.
No.
My question is, should I record it in the books?
No.
Think about it. All the rules have applied.
A provision can be created for the debt which may occur.
Okay. Now, this brings to a new concept which we have not spoken till now called prudence concept. Prudence concept or conservatism. Okay. What does prudence concept say? And after I tell this concept, you again re-answer the question of that him suing a case. Prudence concept says record for all anticipated losses but not for anticipated gains. Record for what? But not for anticipated gains. Record gains only when you realize it. Record gains only when? I'll give you one example. I am owning, let's say, 1 kg of gold. 1 kg of gold. Let's say it's worth around 5 lakh rupees. Tomorrow, the gold price went from 5 lakh to 7 lakh. Gold price went from what? I am not selling it, I am still holding it. Understood? Should I record it or not? This 2 lakhs profit, should I record it or not? Only when I sell, I have to record it. Definition clearly says, okay, there is one case where we can record it, I'll tell you later when we are doing that investment. But as per the conservatism rule, definitely no. Okay, now let's look at the other way around. I sold 1 lakh worth goods to Dharani. She went bankrupt. She went what? Now, I am sure I will not get back the money from her. I will not get back. Now, should I record it or not?
Yes.
Correct, no? Okay, now comes the law. Full twist. Now, if you record it in the law, you can never get back the money from Dharani. Because the court will say, you have only written it off. Then why are you bothered about it? So that's where our circums. We create a provision, we don't write it off. Till we get a confirmation that she cannot pay and there's a court order that she has become bankrupt, till the time we don't write off, we create a provision for doubtful debts. But I show it as a loss for a business because I know this money won't come. But I will never take her out from my books. One more example. My gold price, 5 lakhs. You said when it went to 7, I should not record. It fell down to 4 lakhs. Should I record? Gold price fell down to 4 lakhs. Okay. As per the law, since it has fallen below, it's a loss, you have to record it. On the reporting date, you have to record it. So any loss which are anticipating, you have to record it or show it in the books. It does not say record, it says you have to show it in the books. Whenever only gains you have to show only when it actually happens. Clear?
But when you
Oh,
are holding gold, we can't record it. We don't record also. When you are holding gold,
I'll tell you the reason why. The part is I'm treating gold to be my business. So I'm buying and selling gold. Okay, let's keep that to it. Understood? Now let's come back to the 100 crore case which Harshavardhan has filed against me. Should I record, not record as per the prudence concept?
Create a provision that if it occurs, then if the amount investment doesn't occur, will add that in.
Okay, so whenever there is a potential obligation, this is not a possible. What's the difference between possible and potential? Look into it. In her case, I know I'm going to lose money for sure. Whereas in this case, for what should I pay money? Let him prove in the court that my words hurted him or other stuff. Then we'll look into it. Then I will try to say. Otherwise, I don't record it in the books. I show it as a contingent liability. What is a potential? If there is a potential obligation, if the court favors him, I lose the money. If the court does not favor him, I don't lose anything. In those cases, we do only a disclosure in the accounts. We show what? Disclosure means after your accounting is done, we write one small note saying that Mr. Ashwardhan has filed a case against us, which if he is proved right, we might lose 100 crores. Let him prove, that time we'll see. Now, one more case happened. He proved that his emotion got hurt. What happened? He proved that court also said, yes, Ashwardhan got hurt. Now should I record it? Yes, no? The answer is no. I'll tell you why. When the court agrees that I have been pleaded guilty, court should define the amount I have to pay him. By mistake, if you put 100 crores, court will come and make you pay 100 crores. The contingent liability definition says, if a potential obligation became a possible obligation, but you were not able to define the extent of payment, still it can be treated as contingent liability. So in this case, I was proved guilty, but I don't know whether court will say, look at you, you are worth 100 rupees, you are asking 100 crores, shut up, take 100 rupees and go. Or take the fees and go. That means that's my liability, that's all. Why should I make him a billionaire immediately? Right? So the court will define, till the time don't do anything. Those cases fall under contingent liability. Are you clear? Yeah, we'll take a break. We'll see you at 7.